My first memories of anyone being baptized, I was a small child and I remember people being baptized, and it scared the bejesus out of me because I was a small child who didn't know how to swim. And my mother tried to convince me that it was a good thing that I should get baptized, but I didn't know how to swim, so there was no amount of thinking about it or Sunday school or praying about it that was going to change the fact that some stranger was going to hold me underwater. It just wasn't going to happen. If you don't swim, nobody's going to hold my head underwater. Um, by the time that I learned how to swim a few years later, they, the church people, had scared me in other ways, so I still wasn't ready to do that because it didn't seem like it was going to matter. By that time, I didn't think that I was ever going to be good enough, so getting dunked didn't seem like it was worth it anyway. So it just never seemed like I got around to getting in line to get dunked. I sat in church and heard a lot about how who the sinners were and how they were going to burn in hell forever. And I heard these stories, and a lot of it rang true to me. So mostly what I was hearing was how I was going to be separated from the people that I loved, how I was going to be separated from the people that I knew. And in my head as a child, it seemed like I needed to make a choice, because how was I as a child going to force my parents or my family to come with me? So I got to make a choice. Either I got to stay with them or go with these people. And these people seem a little bit crazy,
Yeah.
And then I know even when I got older, I remember telling people, when the crazy people attack you in the parking lot, and they're, do you know what your salvation is? You should be in church, And I remember telling people, my relationship with God has nothing to do with you. And I lay down at night and I say my prayer before I go to bed. And I have said a prayer before I go to bed every night. And no matter how simple it was, I've always said a prayer before I go to bed at night. But it's been a very simple relationship. Not to say that my relationship has been right or that it's been tight. There's been something there. I don't know. I think somewhere over the last few months or this last year or 2 years, seeing God, or seeing the relationship in a more realistic light, finding out that I don't have to be perfect. Finding out that the Bible is not full of perfect people. Finding out that Christians aren't perfect people. And that's the part where, as a child, like I said before, I kept thinking I'm waiting to be that perfect person. I couldn't be baptized. I couldn't become this Christian. I wasn't perfect yet. And now I finally realized I was waiting for something to happen that wasn't ever going to happen. Being a Christian or being baptized doesn't mean that I'm going to be perfect. It just means that I'm willing to have this relationship with God. I'm willing to have this relationship, which I've kind of had all along. I'm having this relationship with Him, that I have this companionship with Him that I just haven't defined in that way, because I thought I had to be perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm always going to fall short. And that's okay. He accepts me that way. And now I finally come to that realization. I like to think that I'm becoming a little more accepting of others, and hopefully a little more kind or loving of other people. I mean, you try to find ways to share that with other people,
Okay.
even if it's just in kindness. There's been this thing going on for, there's several things going on. for probably a month or so, where there's these transitions going on in my life where, where I go, okay, I know I asked you for help, and I'm like, why won't I just take this step?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I know, I just gotta jump, I just gotta go do this. And on the other hand, then there's this other thing, I go, thank you, thank you, thank you, you're so amazing, thank you, thank you, thank you. But the other part, I'm going, I know, I just gotta jump, I just gotta jump. I feel like the little kid standing at the edge of the diving board,
Yeah.
going, okay, you told me I could, but why won't I jump? So there's a lot of things going on, where it's like, I asked for the wings, but why won't I jump in the pool? So it, I guess, takes some getting used to,